Shalom, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Jerem and Beaton. We are reading today from the book of John, starting at chapter 14. John, chapter 14, verse 1. 1. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Yahweh, believe in me also. 2. In my Av's house are many staying places. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to make ready a place for you. 3. And if I go and make ready a place for you, I will return and receive ye to myself, that where I am, there ye may also be. 4. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. 5. Thomas said to him, Master, Adonai, Lord, we know not where you go, and how can we know the way? 6. Yeshua said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Av but through me. 7. If you had known me, you should have known my Av also, and from henceforth you know him, and have seen him. 8. Philip said to him, Master, Adonai, Lord, show us the Av, and it is sufficient for us. 9. Yeshua said to him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet you have not known me, Philip? He that has seen me has seen the Av. And how do you say then, show us the Av? 10. Do you not believe that I am in the Av, and the Av in me? The words that I speak to you, I speak not of myself, but the Av that dwells in me, he does the works. 11. Believe me that I am in the Av, and the Av in me, or else believe me for the very works' sake. 12. Verily, verily, I say to you, he that believes on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go to the Av. 13. And whatever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Av may be esteemed in the Son. 14. If you shall ask me anything in my name, I will do it. 15. If you love me, guard and do my commandments. 16. And I will ask the Av, and he shall give the counselor of wisdom another time, that she may dwell with you forever. 17. Even the Ruach, set apart Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it sees her not, neither knows her, but you know her, for she remains with you, and shall be in you. 18. I will not abandon ye as orphans, I will come to ye. 19. Yet a little while, and the world sees me no more, but you see me, because I live, you shall live also. 20. At that day you shall know that I am in my Av, and you in me, and I in you. 21. He that has my commandments, and guards and does them, it is he that loves me, and he that loves me shall be loved of my Av, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. 22. Yehuda said to him, not of query, Master, Adonai, Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us, and not to the world? 23. Yeshua answered and said to him, If a man loves me, he will guard my words, and my Av will love him, and we will come to him, and make our abode with him. 24. And he that does not love me will not guard and do my sayings. And the word which you hear is not mine, but the Av's which sent me. 25. These things have I spoken to you, being yet present with you. 26. But the counselor of wisdom, which is the Ruach HaKadosh, set apart Spirit, whom the Av will send in my name, she shall teach ye all things, and bring all things to your remembrance, whatever I have said to you. 27. Shalom I leave with you. My shalom I give to you, not as the world gives, I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. 28. Ye have heard how I said to you, I go away and come again to ye. If ye loved me, ye would rejoice, because I said, I go to the Av, for the Av is greater than I am. 29. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it come to pass, you might believe. 30. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world comes and has no power over me. 31. But that the world may know that I love the Av, and as the Av gave me commandment, even so I do. Arise, let us go hence. So that now brings us to the end of John chapter 14. So let's have a look at some of the footnotes in John chapter 14. So the first footnote we have is in verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Yahweh, believe in me also. So let's have a look at this. Yeshua is not setting himself against the Father in heaven, but merely stating a point to the Hebrew people standing, that they believe in Yahweh and that they need to believe in the words he has given to them, which are from the Father. Okay? So what Yeshua was speaking is from the Father, so it's basically Torah. Okay? So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 2. In my Av's Beth house are many staying places. So let's have a look at this, many staying places. So like travelling inns where people stay and then move on to a journey to reach Abba Yahweh. Okay, like travelling inns where people stay and then move on to a journey to reach Abba Yahweh. Okay, so the next footnote is in verse 2 as well, a continuation. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to make ready a place for you. So let's have a look at this, place for you. So in paradise, not heaven. Okay, so paradise is Sheol, paradise in Sheol. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 4. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. So where I go, you know. Let's have a look at this. So the disciples already knew the Torah, so they knew the way, but the Rabbi merely reconfirmed what they already knew. Okay, so they knew to follow and keep the commandments, and that is the way. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 5. So Thomas said to him, Master, Adonai, Lord, we know not where you go, and how can we know the way? So let's have a look at this. How can we know the way? So Thomas was asking by what correct halakha, law, he could go to where Yeshua was going to. And Yeshua merely reiterates that Moses had said earlier how to get to the Father in heaven. Okay? So it was all about keeping the commandments. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 6. Yeshua said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Av but through me. Okay, so we've got 3 footnotes here. So the first one is, I am the way. So let's have a look at this. So the way here means Torah pointing back to the written Torah in Genesis 24:40, Psalm 1:6, and Psalm 2:12. Okay, so let's have a look at Genesis 24:40 quickly. So Genesis 24:40, and it reads, "But he said to me, Yahweh, before whom I walk, will send his malak with you, and prosper your way, and you shall take a wife for my son, from my Mishpachah family, and from my Av's Beth, my father's house." Okay, so we have here, we have a footnote for whom I walk, before whom I walk, sorry. So the footnote is, in Hebrew, the halakha, whose commandments I obey, meaning obeying Torah of Yahweh. Okay? So this was Abraham talking to Eliezer, his son, from Meshach, his third wife. Okay? So Eliezer was going to Abraham's father's house to get a wife for Jacob. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote. Or let's do Psalms 1 and 6. So Psalms 1 and 6, and it reads, "For Yahweh knows the halakha way of the righteous, but the halakha way of the wicked shall perish." Okay, so we have another footnote. So Psalm 2 and 12. So let's read that quickly. And it reads, "Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. How happy are all they that put their trust in him." Okay, so we've got a footnote here for kiss the Son. So the context is the future king of Israel, who is the Messiah and will rule the nations. This can be seen from verse 8, which lists how the Gentile nations will be ruled under Torah. Okay, so let's have a quick look at verse 8, and it reads, "Ask of me, and I shall give you the nations for your inheritance, and the uppermost parts of the earth for your possession." Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. So Yeshua said to him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So we have a footnote for truth, so let's have a look at that. So idiomatic for Torah found in Psalm 119 and 142, and Psalm 40 and 10, among many references. So let's have a look at Psalm 119 and 42. Psalm 119 and 42, and it reads, "Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your Torah is truth." Okay, so let's have a look at Psalm 40 and 10. So Psalm 40 and 10, and it reads, "I have not hid your righteousness within my heart. I have declared your trustworthiness and your rescue. I have not concealed your loving kindness and your truth from the great congregation." Okay. So your righteousness obviously meaning Torah, keeping the Torah and the commandments, and also teaching the Torah and commandments. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. So the truth and the life. No man comes to the Av but through me. So, and the life. So let's have a look at this. So the life is also a reference to Torah keeping directly from Deuteronomy 30:19, Deuteronomy 32:47 and Proverbs 6:23. So let's have a look at Deuteronomy 30:19. So Deuteronomy 13:19, and it reads, I call the Shemaim, the heaven, and the earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. Okay, so we've got a few footnotes here. So I call the Shemaim. So this is idiomatic expression for Upper Jerusalem and Lower Jerusalem, and the most holy place in the Hekel as witness against the people of Yahweh. Okay? So therefore, we have to choose life, which is Torah. Otherwise, we get the curse. Okay? So let's have a look at the next footnote, which is, and the earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life. Okay, let's have a look at this, life. So life means keeping the Torah, or Torah keeping. Okay, so keeping the commandments, basically. So the next footnote we have, and death, 13. So lawlessness is not keeping Torah and will lead to early physical death for many and lack of increases. However, for a fuller explanation, see our Hidden Truths Bible edition, Ezekiel 37. So this is the Hidden Truth with Brit scrolls, where you can read Ezekiel 37. Okay, so we have one more footnote. And death, blessing and curse, therefore choose life. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Choose life. So the word life here means to choose to be regenerated by Yahweh. He wants to give it, which many incorrectly term born again. It should be born from above. Okay? So let's go to Deuteronomy 32:47. So Deuteronomy 32:47, and it reads, For it is not a worthless word for you, because it is your life, and by this word you shall prolong your days in the land, where you go over the Jordan, to possess it. Okay, so we have a footnote for life, and the footnote reads, keeping Torah is life, meaning eternal life, and should be joyous. Okay, so the last footnote we have is Proverbs 6:23. So let's have a look at that quickly. So Proverbs 6:23, and it reads, For the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Okay, so we have a footnote for Torah is light, and it just says light equals Torah. And for more reading, go to Psalms 119, 105. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 15. If you love me, guard and do my commandments. Okay, so let's have a look at this. And it reads, love is translated into the Hebraic way of action, not just mere words. He instructed his disciples to keep the Torah of Moses, yet many remain oblivious to it under excuses that it is legalism. These will face severe judgment because under the pretense of legalism, they live lawlessly. Okay? So those who do not keep the commandments due to legalism will be judged harshly. So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 16. And I will ask the Av, and he shall give the counselor of wisdom another time, that she may dwell with you forever. Okay, so we've got 3 footnotes here, so let's read the first one. Counselor of wisdom. So let's have a look at this. The set-apart spirit was already there in the world, but this was a special filling for the disciples to do their work through the Shekinah. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote in that verse 16. Counselor of wisdom, another time. So let's have a look at this another time. This is the second time the set-apart spirit has come in mighty power. The first time was when the Torah was given at Mount Sinai, a sequence of 2s. Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is that she may dwell with you forever. Okay, that she, so let's have a look at this. The helper or counselor is the feminine side of Yahweh, the Ruach HaKadosh. When the translations were made into Greek, it was at this time that the switch was made from she as a feminine to a he as masculine. Jerome probably did the same in Latin. It's very simple to work out the Hebrew word. Here it is Ozer, O-Z-A-I-R. The same word used for Adam with Kava, Eve, his wife. Was Kava a male or female? That should answer the question. The church has hid this truth for fear of people worshipping female deities. Okay? So the counselor of wonders, the Ruach HaKadosh, she is feminine. Okay? Is feminine, I should say. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 17. Even the Ruach, set apart spirit of truth. So let's have a look at this. Set apart spirit of truth. It is called the spirit of truth because she teaches Torah of Abba Yahweh, mentioned in Proverbs 8 and 7. Okay. So let's have a look at Proverbs 8 and 7 quickly. Proverbs 8 and 7, and it reads, For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is as ritually defiled to my lips. So we have a footnote for speak truth, and it reads, Those that are defiled cannot come before the Abba. In order to do so, you must remove your ritual defilements first. Truth is for Torah, as it defiles when you start to execute it in your life. Okay, so you must obviously understand that you must remove your ritual defilements first. Truth is for Torah, as it undefiles when you start to execute it in your life. Okay? So let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. Whom the world cannot receive because it sees her not. So let's have a look at this. It sees her not. So we have here, Muslims use this for Muhammad, their prophet. One can see that this spirit of Yahweh is unseen and feminine, neither which fit with the Muslim prophet in Arabia. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is also a continuation. Neither knows her, but you know her, for she remains with you and shall be in you. So she remains with you. Let's have a look at this. So the spirit that dwells within us is like a mother which guides us to Abba's Torah, his voice. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 21. He that has my commandments and guards and does them, it is he that loves me. Okay, let's have a look at this. Only Torah compliance reveals those that are his true ones, worth being called disciples, and love him. Okay? So those who are keeping the commandments are like disciples. Let's go to the next footnote, which is a continuation. And he that loves me shall be loved of my Av, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to him. So let's have a look at this. Manifest myself to him. He fully advocates that the Torah of Moses for his disciples, and categorically states here that he will only reveal himself to you. If you are Torah compliant, else you remain on the sidelines in a lifeless relationship that does not exist. This is why many believers live unsatisfied lives, because they remain Torah rejectors. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 24. He that does not love me will not guard and do my sayings. And the word which you hear is not mine, but the Av's which sent me. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The Av which sent me. So the Abba sent the Torah of Moses. He did not abrogate his own word, though many in the churches are deceived that the Father abrogated his word. Okay, let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 26. But the counselor of wisdom, which is the Ruach HaKadosh, set apart spirit. Okay, let's have a look at this. Counselor of wisdom. So we have here the name for the set apart spirit. Wisdom is the term for Torah that convicts of sin applied to the mother. Okay, so the mother convicts you of sin. So we have another footnote, which is a continuation, which is the Ruach HaKadosh, set apart spirit, whom the Av will send in my name. Okay, let's have a look at this. Send in my name. So we have here, my name here simply refers to Yeshua's authority, and not necessarily in a literal name. Okay, so we have another continuation. She shall teach ye all things, and bring all things to your remembrance. So let's have a look at this, to your remembrance. So the Hebrew word zakar for remembrance is all about keeping the truth that was given to our forefathers, which was the Torah of Moses. And the job of the set-apart spirit is to make sure we remember those things. If we rebel and do not want to obey Torah, that will grieve Yahweh and cause major problems in the believer's life. The curses will start to manifest, mentioned in Deuteronomy 27 and 28, which are signs of disbelief or backslidden status. Okay, so if you want to read about the curses, read Deuteronomy 28, 27 and 28. Okay, so that now brings us to the end of John chapter 14. So I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. This is Rabbi Jerem Beaton saying thank you for watching, and Shalom Shalom. Baruch Shem, Kivod, Makuto, Leolam Va'ed. Benevolent be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever.